All right, it's Saturday. Last night after work I mounted my off-road lights. I guess I shouldn't call them off-road lights. They're auxiliary lights because this is two-wheel drive and I'm not going off-road, but I gotta wire them. I was gonna wire into the cab with a toggle switch and all that crap. The more I thought about it, I thought, why, if I want a lot of light, I'm gonna have my high beams on anyway. So I'm just going to wire the relay in with the high beam circuit. So whenever I turn on the high beams, they'll come on. And if I'm driving down the road and somebody's going the other way, I turn my high beams off anyway. So that'll work out perfect. But I went out to Wyatt's Twisted Americana Bar and Grill out in Egan. So I saw this thing on Facebook and signed up for it. I got this deal for 2 half-pound burgers for the price of 1. So I went out there, I ate one, I had myself a fat tire. Burger was good, the service was good. One of the guys, a friend of mine on Facebook, said, oh, I've been there a few times and the service is bad, but it was fine. I didn't have an issue today. I was in and out, sit, bang, boom, done. The woman couldn't have been friendlier or nicer or anything like that. So I don't know, maybe sometimes, you know, I cut people a break. If I go into a place that's really freaking busy and everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off, I get it, I understand. Take your time, it's okay. It happens at the brewery will just get packed in there. I mean, just stupid packed. I get it, it's gonna take longer for me to get a brew. I get it, you know. I gotta go. I have this thing with flat tires. My car's got a flat tire. This rear tire on the Grom is flat again. I can feel it. So I got to go put some air in that. Maybe I should check the front too, huh? I don't think I've ever checked the front. And I'm gonna do something wrong. I was in here the other night. I came in to buy a lighter. I quit smoking, but every time I solder something, I can't find a lighter to shrink my heat shrink. So I came in to buy a lighter, and this gal that was working here was just completely freaky. She had like spikes sticking out of her lips and all kinds of crazy shit going on. And she had like 3 tampons hanging out of her pocket. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Why do you have tampons hanging out of your pocket? I didn't say anything, but yeah, like half-inch. She had like 3 half-inch spikes sticking out of her bottom lip and stuff. And I'm just like, what are you? Are you just trying to be as weird as you can possibly be, or what? I don't get it. Ah, yeah, she's flat. Just a bizarre show, man. Bizarre show. See if my camera will record for a little while now. On the way here, the thing, it recorded like 7 minutes and locked up. Now, for a long time, I kept formatting the micro SD card every time I wanted to use it, and it seemed to work fine. Now I got away from doing that, and it keeps doing weird shit. So I got to remember to format the micro SD when I put it in there. All right, so I did in fact get out here and get after wiring these lights now, and I did in fact wire them into just so they turn on with. I wired the relay into the high beam light circuit. So I have not even tried yet, so if I screwed it up, you get to laugh at me just like I do. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I got it all right, but let's test it out, see what happens. So I'm driving down the road. I got my headlights on. Got my headlights on, and maybe I see like a deer on the side of the road or something or whatever. or I'm at a back road, whatever. So I'm gonna hit my high beams. Bing. And we have lights, lots of light. So I did it right. Excellent. Now I need a pair of nuts. I have a pair of nuts, but I like these nuts in there. I'm not using them to put lights on my truck. So I got to go up to the auto parts store tomorrow because I need to. Let me figure out what I do with my flashlight. I just need to bolt the relay on right there and then bolt this power wire to the battery. And that's, I could search through all my crap, and I probably have the nuts around here, but I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, I like it. That's freaking cool. And the headlights in this truck are insanely bright to begin with, but the way I figure it, if I turn on my brights, I want lights. I want bright lights, you know. And if there's a car, if I do have my brights on and there's a car going the other way, I'm going to turn my high beams off anyway, you know, common courtesy. So I figure it just makes sense that whenever I turn on the brights, these come on. So maybe there's a flaw in my thinking. If there is, let me know. But yeah, it worked. I got her done. And I tried to make a mount to put them back behind the grill, but it's just a pain in the ass. So I just ended up drilling 2 holes in the bumper. They're not quite even, but I don't care. You know, it worked out great. I got a 10 amp fuse in there. They're 18 watts a piece, so unless my math is really bad, that's 36 watts. Ohm's law is watts divided by volts equals amps. So 12 volts, that's 3 amps. That's insane for that kind of light. Only 3 amps. That's insane. These LEDs are crazy. And you know, if it pops the fuse, I'll just put a bigger one in it, but I don't think it ever will. I mean, it shouldn't. Why should it? And it all worked out really pretty well. I made this whole huge harness, all by myself, and I just, like I say, I just need a nut right there. Bolt that on, and I need a nut to. I could just take that nut off and bolt it with the grounds, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna put that on and put another nut over it, so that way if I need to mess with that, I just take the one nut off and I don't have to mess with my ground wires. But yeah, I like it. That's freaking cool. I got it up and running. That's way cool. Put on the low beams, and guess what? They're off. So finally got off my lazy ass and did something. I always just sit around and do nothing all the time, and I shouldn't do that. I can do a lot of stuff. It's just I'm old and I get lazy. I don't want to do anything. Like, screw it, leave me alone. But so this worked out. And then these relays, that they're Amazon relays, but I just wanted the plugs to plug, you know what I mean? So I actually have 2 actual Bosch relays in here, and a Sanyao, I don't know what it is, some weird thing, but I'm sure way better quality. I was trying to find the numbers inside there for on the terminals, and like the glue they put around these terminals is just, it's so bad it went over and I couldn't read the numbers. On one of them I couldn't read it. I had to pull out the other one, and that one I could see. I could actually see the numbers, so I knew what terminals went to where. And then that yellow wire they always put that yellow wire on these relays, and I don't know what it's for. I'm just going to cut that off, and I'll just heat shrink it. Or only on one of my connections I didn't use heat shrink, and that's a big no-no, boys and girls. You always heat shrink and tape. Solder, heat shrink, and tape. But because how I had to link into the headlight circuit, the high beam circuit, where the room I had to work and everything else, it was just a pain in the butt. So I didn't want to cut the wire and have to do so. I just taped that up really, really good. But that's a no-no. Don't do that. Use heat shrink, you know, solder, heat shrink, tape, and I'm sure this is gonna. I'll long since been dead, and this harness is still going to be just fine the way I put it together. But I'm happy about it. I really dig it. So there you go. Got my off-road lights, or I'm sorry, auxiliary lights. It's two-wheel drive. I'm not going off-road, but just a little bit more light. And for those assholes that have the really super bright headlights that are frying my eyeballs out of my skull, guess what, bro? I got something for you now. So I'm happy the way it turned out. I'm pretty good with electrical, and I was pretty sure I was wiring it right, but I can't say I've never screwed anything up, because I'd be a huge liar if I said that. But apparently I did not screw this up. So happy day. Got my lights.